Hello out there. My name is Laolu Akande and you are on to Inside Sources. But first, here is my take for the day entitled Three Matters Arising. Three matters arising. Number one, it is a relief that the Supreme Court has now dismissed the self-serving plot of about 19 state governments to distort the fight against corruption. They wanted to rubbish the act that set up EFCC, ICPC, and NFIU. The 7-member Supreme Court panel that judged the case on Friday unanimously dismissed the suit with a reassuring rebuke, accurately calling the attempt, quote-unquote, selfish. As a matter of fact, the Premium Times newspaper also called the judgment a stinging rebuke. That is indeed comforting to our Commonwealth. It is inspiring because it shows us that the redemption of the things that have gone wrong in our country is altogether not impossible if we don't relent. Meanwhile, let us also note what the former governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, has said. He is now under EFCC investigation. But listen to what he said, and I quote him. I am not afraid of any investigations, and I will not stop the EFCC from carrying out its duty, unquote. Dr. Okowa, former governor of Delta State, has the right spirit. At least the man is innocent until otherwise proven guilty. Maybe Dr. Okowa, former governor of Delta, is openly tutoring former governor Yahaya Bello. We hope that our brother from Kogi will learn. The second issue, Inside Sources is, however, worried that our honorable leaders of the judiciary, our judges and justices in the judicial arm of government, have becoming increasingly too chummy in their relationship with members of the executive at various levels of government. Some of these things are now really becoming too blatant before our very eyes. Now, according to Rule 1.4 of the Code of Conduct for Judges in Nigeria, and I quote, the judge must be sensitive to the need to avoid contact that may lead people to speculate that there is a relationship between him or her, that is the judge, and someone whom the judge may be tempted to favor in some way in the course of his or her judicial duty. This is what the rule says. And Professor Chidi Odinkalu has been commendably in the forefront of trying to articulate this very important point about the integrity of our judiciary. We have to secure it. In order to maintain reasonable public confidence, our judges should please insist that the judiciary become completely financially autonomous. Actually, in line with our constitution, that arm of government, that is the judiciary, should be the one to determine the welfare of judges when they need cars, when they need houses, when they need accommodation. Because the separation of powers is an imperative of democracy. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, comes to the job with considerable and sterling credentials, and we are extremely proud of her. But she should please reconsider how she responds to requests from the executive arms of government. She should turn down requests that can create the perception of favor and that can question the impartiality of the judiciary arm of government. And now we come finally to the third point. Mrs. Kemi Badenoch has come under some intense attack because she said she doesn't want the United Kingdom, where she is now the leader of the Conservative Party, to become like the country she ran away from, that is Nigeria. Our take, however, is that the obsession and the outrage with Mrs. Kemi's comments about some of the stark realities of our country is completely diversionary. Instead of attacking Mrs. Kemi, let us consistently attack our problems in this country and let us challenge those problems headlong. Who cares what Mrs. Badenoch has to say? At best, that is just a tiny irritation. Where we need to exert our mental energies is to mount pressures on our leaders and government, for instance, to fix a national grid that is now globally prominent. for collapsing, to reduce the alarming poverty in the country, to provide succor to the mass of our people suffering from the ongoing hardship, to figure out a way of restoring basic education in the states so that we can banish ignorance, disease, and misery away from among our people. It is as though we have problems such as leprosy, but we are treating ringworm. That is what this obsession with Mrs. Badenoch's comment comes to. Let us focus on the bigger picture. And there you have it. Inside Sausage will be right back.